Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Sunday, September 29th, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. You're looking at some of the devastation in North Carolina from the major flooding due to historic Hurricane Helene. Absolutely biblical. And we'll have more footage coming up. Keep calm. It's boom time. I said it, and so did the Independent. Hurricane Helene leaves biblical devastation in North Carolina as death toll now passes 80. The bad news is that there are thousands missing, and it is going to be over a month until we know what the actual death toll is. There are no roads in and out of western North Carolina. There is no electric. There is no water. And people are complaining that there are no reports coming from the area. Well, no one can get in there. There's no food, no supplies, and people are running out of hope. An absolutely devastating situation is only going to get worse. Recovery operations are underway across multiple states as a result of Helene, which has caused billions of dollars worth of damage. Millions have been left without power after power lines and cell towers were damaged. In Buncombe County, North Carolina, authorities said 1,000 people still unaccounted for, and biblical decimation in the county. This is the most significant natural disaster that any one of us has ever seen. Well, they actually did experience this same type of flooding. It was just out of the memory of most. Earlier today, there were still 2.5 million without power. Let's refresh this and see if anything has gotten better. Here we go. So we're looking at just about 2 million without power currently. 786,000 in South Carolina, 588,000 in Georgia, 463,000 in North Carolina, most of which are Asheville, which is completely cut off. In Florida, still 140,000 without power. In Virginia, 105,000 without power. So that's just hovering at about 2 million. FEMA says, I don't know that anyone could be fully prepared for the amount of flooding from Helene in North Carolina, and that is a true statement. The last time it flooded like this in downtown Asheville was over 100 years ago, and we do have photos of that. But first, let's take a look at some photos of Hurricane Helene as it unleashed its fury and some of the devastation that we've seen there, as well as the panic. Just piles of debris, washed out roads, and lots of linesmen. Here is that post-apocalyptic scene we saw at the outset. Tariq Scott Bukhari went to help the Lake Lore Chimney Rock area today, and it's hard to describe. Never seen anything like this. Post-apocalyptic. It's so overwhelming, you don't even know how to fathom what recovery looks like, let alone where to start. It's going to be a long path of recovery that all levels of stakeholders are going to be needed. And I think that is an understatement. Let's take a look. An absolute tragedy. And, well, like all resilient communities, they will clean up and they will rebuild, and this will all happen again. Now, there is good news. Most of the dams that were threatened over the last 2 days have all held up. But now the Bee Tree Dam in West North Carolina is close to total failure. Everyone in Bee Tree and downtown Biltmore must evacuate now. This is already after Biltmore was submerged underwater. Hundreds of state and local officers are racing to pull people out. Do not risk being in the path of a failed dam. The dam is gigantic. If this dam fails and anyone is downstream, so that you saw the officials rushing in there to evacuate the region. So here is the Bee Tree Reservoir and the dam, and, well, downstream, it could be a catastrophe. So they're now evacuating folks. So if you're in downtown Bee Tree or Biltmore, you must evacuate now. This is an ongoing situation. We also have some tragic footage here of Chimney Rock. The entire downtown has been washed down the river. There is no more road, and there is no more downtown in Chimney Rock. I'm sure many of you have seen this on the interwebs. But in fact, maybe one of these bushes did make it right there. One of these bushes. Actually, this and that bush are probably these two bushes. So all of this, all of the vehicles, everything here in Chimney Rock, gone. Our hearts and prayers go out to all those affected. This is affecting so many people. And we also have some breaking news of a chemical plant blowing up in Georgia today. I don't know if you saw this footage, but this is all over at our X channel, at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, at Diamond the Dave. This is toxic chemicals. Massive amount. I love that air freshener. Massive amounts of toxic chemicals being blasted into the air that's going to be covering all of the community here in Conyers, Georgia. Absolutely tragic scenario there. If you want to know about all of these updates, all you need to do is become a follower over at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, at Diamond the Dave, where you can follow all of the breaking news, all of the coverage, all the footage all day before we even make the show. Take a look at this. I bet you didn't know. Back in July 16th of 1916, Asheville flooded to a similar depth, similar destruction, and it all happened in 1916. Yeah, before CO2 was spiking and before the global warming scare. This has nothing to do with you. They're blaming it on climate change. It's absolutely ludicrous because the climate is always changing, and flooding and hurricanes always happen. This flooding in Asheville back on July 16th of 1916 occurred because of a hurricane that made its way all the way up into western North Carolina, dumping over 20 inches of rain. It's insane. Yes, Ben Chaffin, 100-year cycle is a big yes. So this is not the first time. This is not due to HARP or weather modification or them steering the storm to where they want it. This is a natural cycle that happens all the time. Mud flood much? Well, we just had one, and a big one. Quick look over at the GFS model, and there's good news. Those potential tropical storms are not now modeling in that same area. More of a central Florida hit there, somewhere near, let's say, Bonita or north, but just a tropical disturbance, not even potentially a tropical storm there. Nothing significant is now in the models. That doesn't mean it's over. We're just ending peak hurricane season, and it does look like Tropical Depression 12. First of all, Joyce is going nowhere. So that's good news. Going to become a tropical depression and move north and do absolutely nothing. But Tropical Depression 12 is now tracking east and is slated to become a hurricane by Tuesday and a major hurricane by Friday. So we'll keep a close eye on this, because on Friday we'll see if it's tracking towards Bermuda or if it makes a move east towards the Bahamas and the U.S. Lots left of the hurricane season, folks, and it's getting spicy. Seismic update. No quakes of note. We had some pretty substantial activity here on the transition zone off the Pacific. That has come to a quiet. Very low-level activity worldwide. More interesting quakes happening up in the middle of nowhere, north of the New Siberian Islands, 4.6. SoCal near Aromas also rocking with a 4.2 today. Hey, what's actually more central California? Approaching Southern Cal. So I'm sure that rattled some nerves. No significant damage reported, which is good news. Worldwide volcano news for the 29th. Sabancaya to 22,000 feet. Ibu puffing and passing to 8,000. Liwatobi to 8,000 as well. Dukono to 8,000. That seems to be the number. Semaru, who knew? Now you do. Puffing and passing. Sabancaya to 22,000 feet. Ibu to 8,000. Fuego to 15,000. Swanazima, 7,000 foot puff. And another report of that 7,000 foot puff there. And that wraps up worldwide volcano news for the day. A very slow day. Good news. Space weather showing very low-level activity at solar max for cycle 25, which is not much of a max at all if you're following us. We could get up to G4 geomagnetic storm due to a coronal hole stream, but the coronal hole's gone, and I don't see anything happening. All is quiet on the Western Front and the 3-day geomagnetic forecast. Now, a comet visible from Earth for the first time in 80,000 years. In fact, the most anticipated comet of the year is now coming into view. Comet Chukchi Atlas, also known as A3, is believed to have an orbit around the sun of more than 80,000 years, and it's back, baby. The comet was first visible starting on September 27th and will continue until shortly before sunrise on October 2nd. It's expected to appear like a fuzzy ball with a tail stretching across the sky in the early morning hours. Get out and look at the horizon. C 2023 A3 has an orbital period of 80,000 years. And the good news is it may be an electric comet. And it will be peaking from October 12th into October 20th at its closest approach to Earth. Let's take a look at some of the recent photos of Chukchi A3, Comet Chukchi Atlas. Beautiful. Now, this is the biggest map of the Milky Way ever constructed by humans right here. The map consists of 200,000 images taken over 13 years using the European Southern Observatory's VISTA telescope. And you can have access to it because we're going to link it below. To view the map in its entirety, you need to go to the website, and it takes up quite a bit of bandwidth. So let's have a look together, shall we? So when you click on the link to the site, you're going to get the screen that shows up. Welcome to the ESO Archive Science Portal, blah, blah, blah. You just hit continue, and then you'll see the data set below here. You can just push down. There is an arrow off screen, a down arrow, and that will erase. And then what you're looking at is all of those hundreds of thousands of images from ALMA that are now mapped as the most concise map of the Milky Way. And you can just zoom in on different areas and the resolution will come into view. And what you will immediately notice is that there are billions of stars out there in our own Milky Way. And then there are billions of galaxies beyond that. And well, this is just a fantastic star map to peruse. Well, to blow your mind on the scale of our own galaxy, and it's just one of billions in the local region. Absolutely mind-blowing. Go get it. We also want you to check out our newest upload on our newest channel on Rumble. Our Rumble channel is Magnetic Reversal News on Rumble, not to be confused with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project on Rumble. We're trying to get over 1,000 followers tonight. I'm sure we can get this to 2,000 if just a bunch of you listening go over there and hit the follow. Hit the follow button. Hit the thumbs up. Undeniable evidence for electric comets. The Minoan eruption, the largest of our time, ends the empire. And well, lots of cool science from Lee and I. So go check it out. And if you're worried about things that are coming in the near future, how about you get some peace of mind with some preparedness? Our My Patriot Supply channel at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, you can survive and thrive. National Preparedness Month ends tomorrow at midnight, and the sale ends tomorrow as well. Get over $1,000 worth of free survival essentials in the super pack here, or any of the featured emergency preparedness kits at huge discounts. The ultimate cooking, lighting, and emergency power kit with 7 items, including stoves, heaters, and food, and instant fire and backup power. Used to be $316, now just $166. The Aqua Pure Pro Ultimate Flow Water Filtration Kit, $700, now $421. And the Ultimate Solar Power and Cooking Emergency Food Kit with not only a stove, but food, just was $823 and could keep you and your family alive for a month, now just $593. Go get it. Support the channel, support your peace of mind, and support your preparedness. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. The powers that be have shadow banned us, and the only people that will see this that aren't subscribed, and barely any of our subscribers see it anyway, is if you share this video. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom to knowledge.